Hi, it's Sue. Welcome back to my channel today. Thank you for calling past. I hope if you're in Australia you've enjoyed a slightly better day. Yesterday we had the most horrendous storm here. My goodness, hailstones, high winds, it was dreadful. The driveway looked a disaster area this morning, but my husband's been working most of the day just trying to clear things up. So we're looking a bit more like us at the moment. Okay, so Dephemerember. Today is the last prompt, and the last prompt is on my prompt card somewhere that I've managed to keep all month, and now I can't find it. But it will be inside here. And it was something about my crush. And I was, I don't know really, don't know what to do. And then I thought, well, actually, I love this. This was an idea from Natasha of Treasure Books. The moment's blank there. Using up bits of lace to make this pretty bow, really. It's a sort of a loose bow. And I thought it would be perfect to hold my now full journal closed, so that it will stand on the shelf quite nicely. So I'd already made this, so I've just added some elastic so that it flicks across the top. So that was one thing, and that was a bit of a cheat really, because as I say, it was made. The other thing was that Barbara made some shrink plastic butterflies. And I loved that idea. I thought that was brilliant. And I knew I'd got some shrink plastic. I've had it for a long time. And when I looked at it, mine was white. And I thought, okay, well, I checked online to see, just how it could be used, whether it could be used. And I printed off the butterflies as well as one Effie, thinking that I would add them on the spine. And when I printed mine, it said, one side is shinier than the other. Find the not so shiny side and print on that. But don't panic. If you print on the wrong side, you can always use a paper towel and clean the print off, clean the ink off. So I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. And I have one of the Epsom eco tanks. So I thought, I'll try it. Well, I tried it and I left it for a moment thinking, it won't take long to dry here. It's been another warm day. But it never did dry. And I could literally, look at my fingers, they're covered in it. So I thought, well, that's not going to work. So I wiped it off and tried printing on the other side. And the same thing happened. Well, it was starting to happen and I thought, okay, I'll leave it for a couple of hours, which I did. And then I took it downstairs and I very carefully cut out the butterflies. I cut out 4 and 1 Effie. And well, actually I didn't cut the Effie out because I thought, I'm not messing around if this doesn't work. Anyway, put them in the oven and it worked like a charm, in so much as, pardon the pun, in so much as they all crinkled up and then flattened down, and I took them out and put them under a breadboard. But the same thing happened when I picked them up. The ink just rubbed off. So I don't know whether it was something to do with my shrink plastic, which I've had for some time, I have to say, or whether it's to do with my computer. You can see this one rolled up and I didn't catch it quick enough. So anyway, I thought, oh gosh, I'd been messing around for ages with these. So I thought, I'm not going to be beat. So I just literally rubbed the ink off, brought them back upstairs, and you can see, I mean, they were white on the reverse. So I took my Posca pens and just did some colouring and left them for a while, and the ink, or the paint really, isn't it? It's not ink, stayed on. So I thought, okay, fair enough, I'm going to use those. But I'm not going to give in. I'm going to try, I've got an old Canon printer. I'm going to try my Canon and see if it is the printer. If not, I will order some more of the shrink plastic and try again. And I think I'll go with the clear next time. Anyway, I did all of that. Then when I came to find a chain, I could only find a silver one. So I thought, oh gosh, it's definitely not going to beat me this. So I've used the silver piece of chain, and I've added a couple of charms as well as 2 butterflies. And the charms are a bow, and down here you can see a little angel. Okay, and as I say, my 2 butterflies. So that was my other thing. Yeah, not a great success, not a great way to finish my journal, but my journal is finished. I've decided it's finished. What say you, Effie? I think I've slowly gone downhill. But anyway, I thought what I would do is a quick run through, a flip through, and then this journal is going on the shelf with the others. So my fabric cover stood up quite well. I added a little pocket on the inside and a picture of Effie, which has been put through the laminator. So that's laminated. And if I start here, page number 1, which I've called my first page, was this page, the zipped pocket, with a nice journaling card, nice big journaling card. So that was that one. And there are a couple of little charms on there, and of course Effie, paper ruffle, let the journey begin. Then we flipped over, and if I open this, I did this one to use Barbara's flip pocket, and I do have another one of these prompt lists in here, so I've taken that out so that I can run through the prompts. So the second one was actually this one. I've just added this pocket with the mushrooms as a page decorator. This one here we'll come back to. So the next prompt was prompt number 4, a butterfly and 3 torn things. So I've got torn fabric with some slow stitching, some torn paper there for journaling. These are actually dragonflies, but there is a butterfly on here somewhere. There he is. I knew he was there somewhere, little butterfly. Okay, lots of collage and inking, stenciling on that one, and there was my other butterfly, which is another laminated page. Okay, and because that's laminated, I left that one blank. So then the next one was salvage birds, And again, I did a double page. This is an image that I took from a Christmas decoration. I traced it, cut it onto my gel plate prints, and I've sort of collaged, added different pieces to piece that bird. And again, that's on a collage page with some inking, painting. It's a stamp there. It's a flip it open and it's a pocket with a journal card. Pretty simple little piece there. And I also did this page over here, which was a double pocket. And I've got some salvaged birds. And these birds, if you remember, if you've been following along, these birds were taken from this little china dish. I literally photoed this dish and put that onto the computer and enlarged it and then cut it. Okay, so that was my salvage birds, and then it was salvage birds was selfie in a bubble. This was actually my favourite. I love this one. And what I did with this, I made a shaker, and it is a shaker. There are little beads and sequins in there. And it is a photo of Effie in a bubble. And if we turn it over, I've added a pocket on the back of there with space for journaling. And you can see here what I did. I took Effie, actually this Effie, down into the garden with a wine glass, and I upturned the wine glass. Eventually, it started out that way, but eventually I upturned it, and that was my Effie in a bubble. And that was the picture that I used in my in this shaker. Okay, so that fitted in the pocket that we created the day before. Okay, so moving along, selfie in a bubble, clocks and wings. This was quite popular, this one. I think it's quite colourful, and that might have had something to do with it. It's another of my die-cut butterflies, and I've obviously split it to add the wings either side of the clock. And it's also been, what did I do? I embossed it with clear embossing paste. And this is actually 2 pockets. And I haven't put anything in those pockets, but I could. There's Effie again. So that was number 7. And then we had 3 days off and came back for number 11, which was Halloween meets Christmas. And this was my page. It's another piece attached to some plastic. And what I did, I cut 2 of these shapes and backed them together with this paper in between. And they formed a pocket. And in that pocket, I have 4 journaling cards, and Effie features on one of those. And these are the Christmas journaling cards. Okay, so that was that one. And the pumpkin was decorated for Christmas. But my favourite was this spider. I loved that spider. Actually, this was actually cut not on the silhouette, but on my Pazzle, which is a much older machine, and it did a great job, especially of the spider. So that was Halloween meets Christmas. And then we moved on to kintsugi, I'm going to say this in a moment, kintsugi houses. And for that one, that was prompt number 12. And for that one, I made this little zine in the shape of a house. And I've used gold to actually draw with my pen, my oblique pen, draw these crack lines. And it's got a couple of pockets, side-on pockets with journaling tags inside. That's one. Space to journal there. Centre page there. Here's another of these tag pockets. And the last one is here, and this uses a selection of Barbara's papers to dress up the front of that card. So that was Kintsugi Houses, and I've just sat it in this pocket. Okay, so that was number 12. That was followed by 13, Magical Creature. I'm going to take this out. Because Magical Creature, I created this piece, and she's quite cute. She's kind of, I don't know, I guess she's a bit of a split between a dragon and a fairy in a tutu. So I made a belly band, and my magical creature moves up and down the belly band, and I've just decorated that page with a couple of cutouts there. And what I did for this one, I left the belly band empty so that I could use it for the next prompt, which was mushroom robots. And I've just used some of the design paper from Barbara, 49 Dragonflies, and drew this robot shape to the waist, cut him out and stuck him underneath. He's part of the mushroom. And there's his pal down there. You can only see the top half of him. But I've used the googly eyes again, which are fun. And I quite like that page. I didn't mind that at all. I thought it was a fun one. Okay, so that was 14. And then after 14, we had 3 days off, which was very nice. Time to do a bit of Christmas prep. And the next prompt was 18, which was polka dots, plaid and polka dots. So for plaid, I used some paper, plaid paper, and I've used some of my coloured paper. I think I used, what are they called? The crystals that you use with water. Can't think, it'll come to me. To decorate that page. And then I've made a fabric pocket using some of the fabric that I used on the journal cover, and I have stitched some colonial knots, so you can actually feel those. It's quite bumpy. The colonial knots stand up quite high, and I've just added another of these. These are little tags that have been put through the laminator, and for extra texture I added this frill on the bottom. Inside is a journal card, and there are polka dots on there and more of my gel prints, and for texture some vintage lace, which is very nice. And I've also added to this pocket something else that I made along the way. I wasn't quite sure about this, but I made it anyway. This is, if you look at it that way, it probably looks more like a mushroom. When you look at it this way, it's a fabric collage mushroom, okay? And that was something on one of the days in between I was playing with, and I've just popped it into that pocket. Okay, so that was 18. It's got a tag and a tab rather, and a little charm on the side there. From 18 we went to 19, Nature's Treasures. And my Nature's Treasures was all about gardens, pretty gardens. I've used this book page, which I thought was, you know, my idea of heaven, a beautiful rose garden. How lovely. And I've added a tissue ruffle with some ribbon and a button with more flowers. And it's actually one of my gel print envelopes. Okay, so more floral designs. I've added a stamp there, mushrooms, more flowers. Same on here, journaling space, and inside just a simple journal card. And there's Effie again. Effie makes an appearance on most of the pages, I think. So I've just slotted that in there. Leave it out for now. And I also added one of my natural pressed flower specimen cards. Okay, so that was number 19. Number 20 was Recycled Fairy. Okay, and what I've done here, I take this off. This is a flip. It has this, like, she's like a paper doll fairy. You remember how we were all making paper dolls with scrap fabric? Well, she's made with some of my gel prints and lace, with lace wings, and I've put her on a Velcro dot so she can be removed. And inside that pocket, oh, that's the next day's, I left that pocket on empty for this day, for number 20, but I did decorate this side with more of Barbara's papers, and I've added on the computer, I've added an Effie and 3 little fairies, just for this page, I have to say. And I took inspiration again from Barbara, one of Barbara's pages, where she wrote on the mushrooms, she wrote a quote on a mushroom, and I've done this, the same with this one. And the quote says, "Come fairies, take me out of this dull world, for I would ride with you upon the wind and dance upon the mountains like a flame." Now, even I have trouble reading that. I wrote it so small to get it all on those 3 mushrooms, but it's there. And what I did was I split the page here. I backed it onto a plain page, cut around the top of this mushroom to form a pocket, and I've used this piece, which is really a piece that I made a long time ago. But I loved it. It sat in my box of ephemera, waiting for the perfect spot, and I think this is the spot for it. So she is really a recycled fairy. I've recycled her into this journal, and it's one of those little 2-piece joined with fabric here. It has the fairy song on this side from William Shakespeare, and a little tag, and this little tag uses some old wallpaper. Okay, so that was my recycled fairy, and she literally just slots down there. Okay, so the next day was Vintage Meets Modern, and this is where I made a book tag, and I've just used scraps of card, some book page, tissue, and one of the Tim Holtz vintage images to decorate this, and I'm calling this Vintage Meets Modern. Okay, so that was number 21, and then we had 3 days off and came back with 25, which was friendship bracelet. And because my journal's getting quite chunky, I moved back up to the front here to this page, which originally just had this mushroom and it was blank for journaling. And I've added one of my, it's actually a cutlery envelope that I have gel printed. And then I added a little bit of collage here with Effie and a friend. A little Christmas deck on there because this was actually number 25, which was Christmas Day. So Christmas Day was all about friendship to me. So on that pocket I've added my attempt at a friendship bracelet, which is a very poor attempt, I'd have to say. I definitely went off. I don't know why. Somebody said that it was the stranded threads were the problem. It sort of twists round, but that's okay. I've just used it as a dangle off that page, off that pocket. Inside the pocket I have this piece, and it says here, friendship, like gold, needs the acid test of adversity to determine its value. And I quite like that. I thought that was quite true. And I actually added a bit of gold on here too, just to brighten up that back page. Okay, so that was 25. And that took us back to the back page, 26, forgotten snacks. Well, really, my forgotten snacks are hula hoops. They're the ones that, you know, I can only have when I'm in the UK. I can have them here, but you have to order them and they are extremely expensive. I've just used the image along with some other food-related images, you know, snack-type foods, bananas, strawberries, carrots, biscuits. There's another cutlery pack I've used, and this is like a wafer biscuit. I've had 2 of those, and I have used one at the back to cover the page and the other one as a pocket. And inside that pocket is this simple journal card. Okay, that was 26. And that brought us up to 27. 27 was spaghetti box window. And while I was making this, I didn't completely cover the back because I was going to glue it to the back page. But then I decided not to glue it. I would just have it sitting in the back of the journal. Now that I have this elastic holding the journal together, it holds that in. But I actually made this box from a wafer biscuit box and cut it all down, made it 1/4 inch thick to hold what was left of my fussy cuts for this challenge inside one of these paper envelopes that I cut down to fit this piece. So I've got all the bits inside there, and because it would show in the window, and I mean I quite like the window empty, because it would show, I decorated the front with another piece of, this is Louisa's paper I believe, and I added some faux stitching with pen, and there's another little Effie down on the corner there. Okay, so that slots in there, and this folds in, creating a tidy little box, she says. And the back page. Okay, so that was 27, and 28 was Me and My Crush. So the Me and My Crush were, you know, I've just picked 2 designers that I find quite inspiring. One was Natasha from Treasure Books, and I have taken one of the things that she makes to use as a closure to hold this closed. And the other thing I attempted were Barbara's shrink film butterflies. Mine didn't work out particularly well. I ended up having to paint them. The ink didn't stick on mine, so I've painted them. And for now, that's how they'll stay on the back of this journal, but I will attempt to sort that out and do some more. So yeah, that is Dephemerember. I must say it's been a fun challenge. Every so often I slip back to me, but my sort of style. I did try and be a bit more adventurous. Don't think I always succeeded, but I'm happy with the outcome. It will look quite nice on my shelf. And this piece I added on here. Oops, wrong way around. There we go. Yeah, it was fun. It soon filled up. You know, it's quite chunky, and because it's on these rings, I don't know whether I would do that again, because you have to consider when it's closed, you know, I would have had to have made my folder a little bit wider this way, I think, to completely cover it. I don't mind that it pokes out a little bit. I don't mind that, but some people wouldn't like it. I'll just pop this back on so we can see it all closed up. I'm very happy with the way it's fraying. It's gone quite fluffy around the edges from handling, so I'm quite pleased about that. I like that effect. I would do it again. I think next time I would do it and do the hidden spine, and that way I could make it quite chunky and wouldn't have to worry too much. There we go. So that is Dephemerember 2013. And before I go, I just want to say again, I've said it a few times as I've lost the butterfly, look, there. Need to put that one back on. Yeah, I've mentioned a few times how grateful I am to everybody who called past and particularly gave my videos a thumbs up. It does help get my videos out there if you do that. Also, you know, that for all of you who subscribe, please stick with me. I've got some plans coming up for different things. Junk Journal January starts pretty much straight away, but I also have this book here, and I've started taking out pages ready to make an altered book, a book of pockets and tucks and so on. So I'm hoping you'll come along and join me on that. This is quite a damaged book actually. It's got a cover, but look, I'm going to have to cover this. Don't quite know yet, probably fabric I think. But I'm going to be working on that pretty early in the year too. So yes, thank you so much. Thank you to the girls, to Barbara and Louise. It has been a fun challenge. I've loved seeing your videos. A bit unfortunate, I'm a bit behind. I've got some catching up to do, and I am going to try and catch up on videos over the next few days. But this will be my last post for Dephemerember. All right, onward and upward. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you in my next video. Until then, take care. Bye.